Hey there, Mr. Thayer from the Syracuse Academy of Science and Citizenship with another third grade math lesson coming at you. Module 3, Lesson 10, Estimate and Measure Liquid Volume in liters and milliliters using the vertical number line. Very important to remember, 1,000 milliliters equals 1 liter. So I'll put that up there. So today we're going to look at a vertical number line. We're going to kind of piggyback off of yesterday's lesson, and we're going to look at a vertical number line. And we're just going to do a little bit of estimating. Again, not overwhelming with stuff here, but yesterday we were talking about milliliters and liters. And we looked at the tags here and figured out that this had, 500 milliliters in here. I drank a little bit of this, so it doesn't have 500 milliliters in here, okay? But today I want to think about if we had this water bottle, like I said, I drank some water in here. What would happen if I had a container and I was pouring more water in there? How can I measure it? Okay, that's where our vertical measurement comes in, our vertical scale, because horizontal tells us that it goes across, vertical is up and down. So we're thinking about a scale that goes up and down, or vertical, and it shows us the plot points as we go. All right, so I'm thinking about filling up, like I said, maybe an empty water bottle or an empty jug, and I have one of those right here. Okay, so what I want to do is make sure I get my correct pen. There we go. That's the one I want. So what I just want to do is I just want to kind of think about this empty container, or if you're talking in science terms, a graduated cylinder, which you'll eventually use when you get into science stuff. And then over here, I have 100 milliliters. I have a cup with 100 milliliters in it. So I am able to dump liquid into the bigger container. So the first thing I want to do is, here's our vertical measurement here. Here's our vertical scale. Is let's measure this. Let's plug in some numbers here. And let's do intervals of 100 milliliters. Okay? So 100. Our next would be 200. And I want to put ml there because we are talking in milliliters. So our next one would be 300 milliliters, 400 milliliters, 500 milliliters, 600 milliliters, 700 milliliters, 800 milliliters, 900 milliliters, and 1,000 milliliters. Wait a second. Yep, you guessed it. Some of you guys might have known. 1,000 milliliters right here. We could also say, it's right, 1 liter. Okay, so when we get to that top, we could say 1,000 milliliters or 1 liter of liquid that's in there. Okay, so basically what this is showing us is that we can measure vertically with our numbers kind of on our graduated cylinder or on a clear cup or things like that. And what we can do is we can take the milliliters here and we can just pour. We could pretend that, I took this and I poured it in and it would come right up. Because remember, I'm pouring 100 milliliters. I fill it up and I come right to that tick mark there, and I know I have, it's erased here, that's okay. I have 100 milliliters there. I take this, I pour in another one. Guess what? It's going to come right to here. And I have 200 milliliters in my container. Okay? And so on and so forth. I just keep pouring. I keep pouring. And I can read my measurements on the side of the glass here. And so on and so forth. Okay? So it's important when you dump that in. So right now, this is 300. Not just 300, 300 milliliters. Make sure when you're talking about measurements, you're talking about how much is in there. You have to be specific. So 300 milliliters is what I have right now. And that's just showing you what the vertical number line measurement is there and what goes up as we keep adding milliliters in. And I can sit here and I can keep adding 100 and 100 at a time. But you get the gist of using that vertical number line to measure things. And like I said, what I really want to stand out is to understand that when we get up to 1,000 milliliters, we can say that there's 1,000 milliliters, but we can also say that that's a liter. So if I kept filling, and I colored this all in, this would be a liter or 1,000 milliliters of liquid in the container. Okay? So that's part of what we wanted to talk about. Like I said, this is a very quick lesson. I just really wanted you to understand the vertical number line and measuring liquid that way. But the other part of this too is that sometimes we have to estimate. Sometimes that we pour water in or we're working with a liquid and it doesn't match up here. So all we're really doing right now is we're just estimating and are kind of rounding where we are and just kind of seeing what's closer right now. So we can see that that number is not all the way to the 2, but it's above the 1. It's more than the 1. So we could estimate this. If we didn't have tick marks in there, we could say that this is 2 milliliters, okay? Because it is closer to the 2. So this is just a brief lesson on just kind of estimating here and just looking at where the water is kind of close to, okay? And then in this case here, you can see between the 3 and the 4, if we were to estimate that, we would say that it's a lot closer to the 3. So we would estimate that, and we could say 3 milliliters in terms of that answer. Okay, so that was just a quick estimate and just how to look at things and understand that estimation is going to play a role in measuring liquids, and just to kind of have that, like I said, another piece in your toolbox when it comes to doing stuff. So we took milliliters, we filled, and we understood what we're counting as we go up, and that will help us to estimate and understand things. Again, 1,000 milliliters equals 1 liter. Make sure you understand that, and check out the exit ticket, and I will see you guys soon.